appraiser, and I come in and somebody's offered you 900.
Oops. Time for us to go.
Okay.
94.5 The Peak, 8:35, and time once again for our Heber Valley home team. And I'm losing.
Good morning.
I always lose my voice when you come in. Lisa Kohler-Orem is here.
You must be allergic to me.
I don't know what it is. We've been sitting here talking, and I've been just fine.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it goes. I'm going to turn off the mic.
Well, good morning. This is Lisa
There we
from
go. Okay.
Heber Valley Home Team.
Okay. And Janine's still not with us this morning.
Nope. She'll be back. She won't be back until May.
Okay. That's not that far away.
No. In fact, I'm going to be gone the next 2 weeks. So you're going to miss us both until
Do you want
May.
to tell us exactly where you're going?
No, it's a secret.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm
right.
So excited. It's my 7th anniversary, and I am going to Europe. We're going to Switzerland and Italy.
Oh my!
Yeah, I'm so excited.
It would be.
You know
beautiful
what?
Right now.
What is today?
Today is the 8th.
Oh, today is my husband's birthday. Happy birthday, Mike Orm. I love you. I left without saying happy birthday.
Oh,
I
dear.
forgot what day it was. Oh man, it's been a crazy week.
It has been we've been struggling to try to. When you're retired, I'm newly retired, I guess, and I wake up wondering what day it is.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for this, I'd be lost.
Yeah.
Because I come down here for a couple hours a day. So
it's like, oh, yeah. Well, yeah. And I last week we helped a son move. He and his girlfriend moved to St. George, and we painted and we put in new toilets, and we, in the place that they bought, and so it was fast and furious. And got home and worked the end of the week, and then my husband and I are guest service missionaries at Conference Center. So we spent the weekend working at conference. And so I feel like it's been, it's all jumbled together. So I forgot what day it was.
Now, real estate, with everything that's going on with the Trump administration, has that had an effect on anything?
Yes. And I was talking with another agent last night a little bit about it. And the only thing that is happening is people are slower. People are kind of on hold. They're waiting to see what's going to happen with the tariffs. Are the prices going to go up, or is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? And
Wall Street's up a little bit today. That's good news.
That is good news. Yep. Our listings are at 485, but our under contract are at 369 this week. Oh. So things are moving. So is it making some people wait? Yes. Is it stopping the market? No. And in fact, just some food for thought on that. If you're out there and you want to buy a house, you have to qualify, you have to have the interest rate, you have to have all of these things in line. And if you're there, go put it under contract and make it happen. Because the hard part for me is people wait and then they make it so that they're out of the market. If something changes and prices change and they go up or down, down might help them. But if they go up because prices are higher to get steel, and so now this person's going to build, so they need higher for their house, and you price yourself out. So you might wait yourself right out of our market.
I saw a report yesterday that some large companies are hoarding materials for their own builders. And so there might be a shortage of, so it's a good time to do that.
It'll go back into the COVID when everything was so expensive for a builder. And so all the people building their houses had to ask more for the houses they were selling in order to pay for their houses they were building. And and things started going up out of necessity, and people were paying those because you get to the point where you're ready to move and you don't see that you waited just to see if it was going to change, and it did, and now it's higher, but you still want to move, or you still have to move. Don't wait. Get out there. Right now, there's some great homes on the market, some really good things happening. jump into the market, get out there and make it happen, because it's not ever, in my opinion, it's not going to be better in our position right now. Right now, it is what it is. Go out. If it does get better and that price goes down, the interest, goes down, then refinance. But I don't think waiting for prices to go up is smart. But that's what the tariffs and stuff are supposedly going to do, is make everything go higher. And then your price is going to be higher. If you're in a position where you don't have to move and you're not going to make a change, and no matter what, you could stay where you are, then I guess that's smart, stay where you are. But I just think that we are all unsettled about things, and
well, this market's different.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody says that.
It is.
But you look at Jordanelle and the building that's going on there, and it's just amazing. We go to the hospital every now and again to have tests, and every time we go there, it's something new. There's something bigger, something higher. It's just, and so it has a big effect on us.
It does. It's Wasatch County. It has it affects the comps, like we were talking before we came on air. It when you price a house, you have to find the comparables that have sold, and you have to, figure out what that pricing is. The difference is that when I, as a agent, look for those comps, I need to look at the year built and the size and all of that and kind of get a price. But if I am an appraiser, I come in, and if I have a bona fide offer at a certain price, then I'm going to get as close to that as possible, because if I have a willing and a buyer and a willing seller at a price, then that's value. And so there's this, they try and get as close to that value and use whatever comps they have to make that happen, because they have a willing buyer and a willing seller. And so that's what, in this market, people need to understand is, I have some houses and I listed one, and they're like, oh, you're way too high. And it sells at that because it isn't way too high for somebody, and for that market, for the area. If you're tucked back in a nice quiet area, or you're out in the middle of a subdivision, are your values the same? Not perceived, not people's idea of where they want to be. And so they're willing to pay a premium to be off the beaten path and away from the traffic and away from the noise. And so there's so many different variables. I have a house in Lehi right now that, unfortunately, I'd like to tell this story because I think it's important for people to understand. I went in, it's a friend that she called me because she trusts me, and she said, we have to sell our house. They're in a divorce situation. It's not a good situation. And so she called, I made an appointment. I did all the comps. I went through all of the stuff for them, and had it all ready to go. And she called me and she said, you don't need to come tomorrow. I have a friend whose son wants the house. His sister is an agent. She'll do all the work, and we're just going to sell it without, listing it.
Okay.
So I said, okay, but I still want to come. I still want you to give you all my information. I still want to come. So the next morning I went down to meet with them, and the comparables that I had were from their area. And this house comped at $611,000. And this girl and her husband they've only had this one house. They're pretty naive to the market. And the offer and what the person told them it was worth was $470,000.
Oh my, okay.
And they thought that was legitimate because they didn't have any idea. They don't work in the market. They don't know. And so as I talked with them and showed them all the information. I brought all the comps that had sold in their neighborhood, that all of the comps that they had been given were from a subdivision, Saratoga Springs, miles and miles and miles from their home.
And it's a nightmare.
They're right on the lake. They're in this subdivision that there are no homes for sale because people want to stay there. There was one sale in the last year, which tells you it's a really nice area because people are buying and selling all the time. So as we talked, what I realized is that one more reason to hire a professional that you trust is that not only had they told him it was 470,000, but they had talked him into the fact that we're going to do all the work and you just discount it 6%. And so I said, so you're paying this agent 6% to do the work and you're not having any representation. And they said, no, there's no agents. Well, then why are you discounting the 470,000 6%? So they were being totally taken advantage of out of naivety, not anything else. They just didn't understand how it worked. And by the time I explained it, I said, well, if you discount it 6%, then she's getting 6% and you're not. And they both went, oh my gosh, you're right. But in the name of, oh, you don't have to pay that out, so you can just discount the price. Well, what's the difference? There isn't, but the way that they were being sold this deal from a friend was totally taking advantage of them. So that they would have given them 470 minus 6% on a house that's worth $611,000.
Are they continuing with that deal, or?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Actually, they have to list. So we priced it at $599, and they went back and said, you know, you can buy it at $599 if you'd like to, and they went away.
They were getting a deal.
Oh yeah. Well, it was a deal. It was a steal, literally, because they knew what the market was, and they knew that they didn't.
How long do you think it'll take to sell that house?
Well, we listed it on Friday. It went live, and it's shown 1, 2, 3, 4. It's shown about 5 times, and it will show again tomorrow. I have 3 people who say they're bringing an offer. I haven't seen them yet, but it's moving, and I think it'll sell in the next couple of weeks. It'll be under contract.
Are we still bidding on houses? Are we still,
No.
That's not going on.
Not. I shouldn't say it's not going on. In our valley, it isn't going on. Okay. In Utah County and Salt Lake County, if there's a deal, I mean, if they're a low, then yes, there are a lot of people who qualify in a lower rate that are looking. And so when something good comes on, you do sometimes have bidding wars. In our market, typically, no, you don't, unless it's something that's underpriced or weird on the market, or, you know what I mean? If it's a fixer-upper and you have contractors that see the value and they want to flip it, you might have some, but typically not.
You got a favorite right now in town?
I do have a favorite. The favorite is the commercial piece that we have listed, a little house on Center Street in Midway. And it's just a small house, but it backs up to a commercial piece that is a pocket listing of mine. And because it's not listed, I know people don't know that they could have both of those pieces and have that commercial area that they could have parking and everything. And so that one is one that I've been trying to get out there to the right ears, because it's got to be somebody who's either speculating on commercial in Midway or has something they want to build in Midway. But it is right across the street from the bakery, and
you've seen the cars.
Yeah,
you've seen the cars in there. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is. It's
There's a
people
success
are.
story, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
That just amazes me when we drive by there and there's
It's busy every day.
every day.
Yeah. I'm thrilled for them.
That little house that you have for rent.
Yes, on Main Street.
What is the rent for something like that?
That one right now is $22.95.
Okay.
And
Is that a deal? I mean, I have no idea. 2000.
It's decent. I mean, it's a decent price.
Mhm.
The hard part about that one right now I'm struggling with is it's right on Main Street. And so if people have kids or dogs or whatever they're worried about Main Street. But we have a lot of people who want to rent it for a business.
Mhm.
But if it goes to a business, it can't go back to a home. So the owner doesn't want to do that because they're not ready to not be able to let people live there if they need kids to live there or whatever. So it's a decent price. I have somebody looking at it right now that may move in there, and I know it showed again yesterday. So somebody will move in, but it's just a really different. It's sat longer than most of ours because it's really different. However, anybody out there in the rental market, um, typically when we have had a month with a lot of homes in our valley for rent, 30 homes, sometimes 15 to 30 is a decent amount of homes on the market.
Mhm.
And last week when we pulled them all, and my husband keeps them on a spreadsheet and price, and 172.
For rent?
Yes.
Homes for rent?
It's homes and condos and units.
What does that mean? Are people leaving?
That means that all of these apartments and condos and stuff that are coming onto the market are really making an effect on our market, and so they're bringing the prices down, because if you have a unit that you priced at 3,000 and all of a sudden four dump on the market that are comparable, and everybody goes to
and they're brand new
to 25.
Yeah, sure.
So there's a lot happening in the rental market too. So rentals have always been good here, but people would pay higher because the rent stayed high. But with all of the units coming on, the rent isn't as high on across the board.
So some of the units you're talking about that would be there out by the hospital, the big
The high rise Sequoia.
How many units are in that?
But you know what they've done is they get people in there and tell them it's for a 2-bedroom, it's $1,600.
Mhm.
So they go in there, it's $1,600, and then you pay $2,000 for a living fee and $2,000. By the time you get done with those, they're $2,200.
What is a living fee?
I have no idea, but they have all of these fees.
Okay.
We get people who come to us who will say, "Do you have a living?" I think it's like to use all of the amenities because they have a pool and they have. I don't.
Okay.
I think they call it a living fee.
HOA has disappeared.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, because they don't. The HOA is because they own them all.
Okay.
So that's not real.
Mhm.
So, but it's very deceiving. I have had people that go out there that say, I have one that I can go to that I've saw that 1,600. So I'm going to do that. And then pretty soon they come back and they go, do you have this fee? Do you have this fee? Do you have this fee? No. We have a little one over by, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and it's comparable to a lot of those. It's older, but it's been remodeled. It's over by the old Smiths, and it's sitting there. And I think it's because it's in that same price range, and people think they're going to go see it, and it's got all those same fees, But it isn't.
And nice, that into town is just growing, and all the businesses that are a good location for that.
Yeah.
And that Smith's will never be anything. I can't imagine because of the rent that Smith's is asking for.
Oh, is it high? I haven't even heard that. I wish that it would be I wish they'd make it into some. Our kids need something.
Well, somebody told me, I'm sorry, that they were going to subdivide it and make little shops in it.
Oh, kind of like the Quilted Bear or something
like that, but that hasn't happened either.
No, but I think that would be well received. I do. I think just like all the little shops in Midway, I think you'd have people go. I think you'd have tourists come when they're staying. Yep. Yeah. plenty of parking.
Have you, I always ask down by the hub, those new buildings does anybody have any idea what's
I
going in?
still don't know.
It's,
I've asked around, but I still haven't heard. Well, you hear everybody say, "I think it's this," or "I think it's a,
mhm.
I think it's a Chick-fil-A." Well, there's
I've heard
not
that,
a
yes.
drive-through
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
That Chick-fil-A builds the same drive-through,
Mhm.
all the way around the building, so they have their people out there. Yeah, no, I've driven by thinking, okay, no, it doesn't look like that could be. So I don't know.
How about office building in town? Are there openings or do we usually rent everything?
There are some openings. We have one that's just down here off First South. He has, I think, one office space left that is for rent. It's David Webb, where the Valley Insurance is.
Mhm.
So it's just off Main Street, one block. I actually am going to be listing a office space that is just off of Main Street, not even a full block, just over by Granny's. It's got 3 offices, a common space, and a reception area. And we're just working on getting pricing and getting that. That will probably be listed in May. Um, and that one will be a really good one.
Nice location.
Yeah, it's a really good location.
Anything close to Granny's would be nice.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's got plenty of parking. It's got
Mhm.
a good parking lot there and on the street. It's got it's visual from Main Street. If you put a sign out, people could find it. It's right there behind where there's a North Orthodontist and stuff in the front building, and then a parking lot, and it's in the back.
Mhm.
So that one is going to be a really good one coming on shortly.
Notice, I'm sorry for in the building there in Midway that I don't know what it's called has the dentist
Yeah.
in it. There's a bunch of signs that it has been for rent. Is that unusual? Is it?
No, that building has, I don't know, has as much exposure. I do know there's a pharmacy in there now.
There is, yes.
And I've heard really, really good things about the pharmacy there. I haven't gone in, but I want to. But I think that one will pick up and it'll fill up. We've got some momentum going in Midway. I'd love to see some little shops that would bring people into that little European building,
Mhm.
At one point it did have a few shops and people would go in there, and now there really is a walking area. You can walk from clear down where the Christmas shop is, past the corner, LA Dresden's. You've got the restaurants across the street. You have 3 shops, the art gallery, and there's the Midway Must Haves, and the other one I can't think of what it is. It's got the felt store. Then you walk further down, you've got the grocery store. You've got across the street the provisions and a couple of little shops in that one right before the gas station. Then you have Drew on the corner with the activities and the adventure center. Then you have Lola's. If you just keep walking down the road, I mean, we're starting to have shops all the way down. They may not be on one side or the other, but they're popping up where you have the Mercantile, and then down the street from them you have the Filler Up and Judy's and the bike shop, and there's one it's called something pony. It just went out of my head, but it's a women's consignment clothes, and then you go and you have Fernway. I mean, so it's starting to move all the way down there.
I was surprised to see the Mexican restaurant there on River Road. Dark.
Yeah, they've gone.
They always had
Yeah,
cars.
yep. It's been gone for a while. I don't know what'll pop up in there, but something will come back. It's got the full restaurant set up. It's got all the something will pop back up in there. I hope Excuse me. I hope that it's something that is not Mexican. And the only reason I say that is because Tarmahara was so good, and the two Mexican that have been there since haven't done as well. And I think it's because people expected. Excuse me. I think it's because people expected the same thing, and it's not.
A lot of movement. Let's sell a bunch of houses this week.
Okay, and call me.
Okay.
My number is 435-671-2336. This is Lisa from the home team. When you hear me again, I'll be with Janine again. She should be back by then. But we have our office at 540 North Main Street, and it's we have, I think we figured 150 hours of, or 150 years of experience in our office with the agents that are there.
In this town.
Yes. And most of us have been here our whole lives, and we are the specialists here, and we know what's happening. And we would love to sit down and help you find what you're looking for. So give us a call or walk in or get on our website. If you are looking for a rental, you can go to daviscolemanrentals.com and go in and look at the rentals that are available that we have in the community. Those pop up and down and change, but that is where our rentals are, is daviscolemanrentals.com.
Thanks, Lisa.
Okay.
Enjoy your trip.
Thank you. Have a good week.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. Mike just what this house does next door.